Who are the fantasy quarterbacks I've drafted the most this year? I'm going to talk about them. I already did a running back and receiver series. Also talked about the running backs and receivers I barely drafted this summer. The guys in the screen here are the 6 to 10 guys. So later on in the video, the 1 to 5 guys will be revealed. So I'll break all these guys down. Before we do that, please hit like, subscribe, comment below. Visit walterfootball.com for tons of content. We have everything you need for your fantasy football drafts this summer. We have sleepers, we have busts, cheat sheets, rankings, best and worst picks from each round, strategy guide. We have all that. We have NFL mock drafts 2026. We have picks against the spread. We grade every signing, we grade every trade, and it's all free at walterfootball.com. So check us out there. So let's get to these quarterbacks. Going to go from bottom to top. So the number 10 quarterback I've drafted the most is Joe Burrow. I've been taking a lot of the quarterbacks in rounds 3 and 4 because I think that there's such a big drop off after the number 5 quarterbacks. So the 5 elite quarterbacks, and you see another one on the screen here. We have Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Jaden Daniels, Jalen Hurts, and Joe Burrow. That's how I have them in order. Burrow is definitely one of the top 5. He's the kind of like the black sheep of that group because he's not a scrambler. Although he did have a long rushing touchdown last year, he's not really a scrambler like those guys. But he's gonna have such high passing volume because Cincinnati's defense is awful. I think probably the worst defense in the NFL. They were bad last year and they got worse because they lost some players. So Burrow's gonna have to throw a lot, and he's got 2 dynamic receivers at his disposal, plus Chase Brown who can catch passes out of the backfield. Gesicki was good last year. They signed Noah Fant, so lots of weapons for Burrow. I don't like the interior of the offensive line, and really the tackles are kind of sketchy as well. So that I think that'll hurt against the elite pass rushing teams, but against every other team, Burrow should have a great game, especially if it's like a shootout, which the Bengals could be in shootouts a lot this year. Number 9, Trevor Lawrence. I think he's going to have a bounce back. I mean, it wasn't too long ago that Lawrence was considered like such an up and coming quarterback. Remember in 2022, he had some great performances. He had that comeback against Dallas, the comeback in the playoffs against the Chargers, and then he took he kept the game close against the Chiefs in the second round. So it seemed like Lawrence is going to have like a big year after that. And he started off 8-3, but then he got hurt every single week. It was a disaster. And I don't think he was healthy last year. Plus, Doug Peterson had one foot out the door. So Lawrence is going to have better coaching. He has Travis Hunter in addition to Brian Thomas Jr. Brenton Strange, I think, is an underrated tight end. I think he's pretty athletic. So I like Lawrence this year. You're getting him like 11th, 12th round. I think that's a steal. Herbert's also going in that area. He's number 8. So the Chargers added some weapons. They added Trey Harris, Keandre Lambert-Smith. They brought back Keenan Allen. The one issue with Herbert is that he lost Rashawn Slater to injury, which most of these Herbert picks were made before that. I still like Herbert, but I've downgraded him a little bit. I would almost rather take Lawrence at the moment. Herbert's going a little earlier though, so you can kind of take both of them in different drafts, and it would make sense. But I would rate Lawrence a little bit ahead of Herbert now, given the offensive line injuries. But I still like Herbert, like I said. Number 7, Jane Daniels. He's one of those elite 5 quarterbacks I've been taking a lot. Daniels is typically going like early 4th, mid 4th. Sometimes he creeps into the end of the 3rd, but he's an elite quarterback. He's fantastic. He was great last year as a rookie, and now he might have 2 really good receivers at his disposal. We'll see what happens with McLaurin. I'm a little worried about his holdout, but Deebo Samuel's there. And for those of you who remember last year, would be like, oh, Deebo was terrible last year. And a lot of people are telling you to fade him. I'm not telling you to fade him. Like, he had pneumonia last year. Like, he started off really well, and then he had this like 7 or 8 week stretch where he did nothing. It's because of the pneumonia. And then late in the year, he had a couple of good games to close out the season. I think we're going to see more of that from Deebo in 2025, especially with a great quarterback like Daniels. Number 6, Brock Purdy. So the Niners, I love the Niner players this year. They had the easiest schedule in the NFL. I've been covering the NFL since 1999. Like, my WalterFootball.com has been around almost 26 years now. Kind of crazy. It's almost 2/3 of my life there. But so my point is, since 99, like the Niners had the easiest schedule I've ever seen in my life, at least covering the NFL. Their toughest game, it could be one of two. Their toughest game outside of the two Rams games in the division are either at Houston or at Tampa. Like that's it. Like their schedule is so easy, and even the at Tampa game for their offense is gonna be great because Tampa's defense just stinks. So, yeah, probably the toughest game for their offense is at Houston. So, you should want the Niners. They have such an easy schedule. Purdy's going to have two young receivers at his disposal, and Pearsall and Jennings. Kittle's still there. Obviously, might decline a little bit, but he's 32. McCaffrey will be back, but I don't trust him to stay healthy. But still, Garendo showed a lot of promise last year. I think Purdy is someone you can take in round 10 or 11 and feel good about it, especially if you took Pearsall or Jennings or even Kittle earlier. You could stack them together. The 1 to 5 group is Anthony Richardson's number 5. May seem like a strange one, but I've been taking him like round 16 every time. Just seems like a great value there. Like there aren't too many round 16 guys to the upside of Richardson who could, if he finally lives up to his potential, he could win leagues this year. I don't know if he's going to do that. If I had a bet, I'd probably say no, but like, it's just too much upside to avoid, around 16. Like who are you going to get who could win your league there? Like it's pretty bleak down there. Richardson came into the NFL as a project, and so first year he has some good performances, but he barely played because of injury. Second year he regressed. But if you were to tell someone entering Richardson's rookie year a couple years ago that he would have a rough first 2 years, they'd probably say, yeah, that makes sense. He's super raw. He's probably maybe going to get going in his third year. And so we're here in his third season. Maybe he's going to finally do it. Number 4 is JJ McCarthy. He's going around like round 11. So typically when I draft either Jefferson or Addison or Hawkinson, I will take McCarthy as a stacking option there. McCarthy has rushing upside, which I like. He's also coached by Kevin O'Connell, who's turned water into wine with every quarterback he's coached. Remember last year heading into the season, McCarthy got hurt and it was like Sam Darnold and the Vikings were given up for dead. And lo and behold, Darnold led them to a 14-3 record. He had Joshua Dobbs playing at a high level. Kevin O'Connell did. He had Nick Mullins playing at a high level. He had Kirk Cousins playing the best football of his career. Kevin O'Connell is one of the best offensive coaches in the NFL. He's just so smart. And I think that he's going to be able to get McCarthy to play his best. Number 3, Jalen Hurts, another one of those top 5 elite quarterbacks. You might be wondering where Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. Well, like those guys usually go round 3, whereas Hurts, Daniels, and Burrow go round 4, and that's why I've been taking those guys more so than the round 3 guys. I do have a fair amount of Allen, not so much Lamar Jackson because I think he's going like a tad too early, but still, if I got him, I wouldn't mind him at all. Like he could win you a league. But Jalen Hurts, the tush push is still legal. As Saquon Barkley's workload might lessen a little bit because of the number of carries he had last year. So Jalen Hurts might do some more running this year. Just a fantastic player in both real life and fantasy. I love Jalen Hurts. Number 2, Drake May. He's typically going like 10th round, sometimes 9th, sometimes 11th, but usually 10th round. Drake May has rushing ability, and if you notice, every quarterback in the top 5 has great rushing ability. May is basically he came into the NFL as kind of like a Josh Allen comp, where year 1, Josh Allen, he showed signs, but he struggled a lot. Made some dumb mistakes. That's what May did. May shined sometimes. May made some dumb mistakes. I think heading into year 2, basically going to be kind of like what Josh Allen was heading into year 2, where he did a lot more positive things. There were still some negatives, but and you can see some like him still being raw. But I think May is going to kind of be like the same thing. Like he's going to do some great things, make some mistakes. But the supporting cast is much better coach than Vrabel, much better offensive line. They drafted Will Campbell and they drafted someone else in the second round. Stephon Diggs is there. Not that I expect Diggs to stay healthy, but still, he's better than what they had last year. And Travion Henderson, great safety valve out of the backfield. So May has everything going for him. So I love him. And then Cam Ward's number 1. This is more of a round thing. It's not like I like Cam Ward more than Drake May or McCarthy. But Cam Ward's typically going round 13 and round 14, which I don't understand. He has rushing upside for sure. Obviously, he ran all over the place in college. He's also very accurate. I think that people don't really understand that. Like he is not a bad prospect. Like granted, if he was in the prior draft class, he would have gone after all three of the guys at the top. Like he would have gone after Caleb Williams and Jane Daniels and Drake May. I'm not sure about McCarthy, but he may have gone after McCarthy as well. But still, it doesn't make him a bad prospect. I like Cam Ward. He has Calvin Ridley at his disposal. The Titans upgraded their offensive line, so there is definitely some potential there. And at the very worst, he's going to run a lot. And Cam Ward is going to have a lot of garbage time too, which counts for fantasy. Tennessee's defense is awful. I mentioned Cincinnati's defense. Tennessee is probably almost as bad. So they're going to be in shootouts or games that kind of get out of hand, which means Cam Ward in the fourth quarter might get some amazing garbage time. So I like Cam Ward, especially in the 13th, 14th round. Seems like such a steal. So those are the quarterbacks I have drafted the most. Tell me what you like here, what you don't like. Are you drafting someone I don't have on the list? Please let me know. I'm going to do a tight ends video soon. But otherwise, please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video, visit walterfootball.com for tons of content. It's all free. But I will talk to you in the next